Hi, this is Linda. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. In this video, I'm putting together my Project Life spread for the week of July 1st through July 7th, 2024, and I'm working with the Stories by the Month kit from Ali Edwards. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, guys, this is an exciting one because this is the first week in my second album of Project Life for 2024. So I wanted to just take a minute here to show you a little bit about this. I shared my initial setup for this in my last vlog. That's my vlog number 4, episode number 4. So if you want to see that, go ahead and check it out and I'll try to link it down below. But this is a 9x12 album from scrapbook.com. And I created these at the beginning of the year. So I will share a flip through of the completed part 1 coming soon. But for now, I'm just diving in here. I'm not going to do my cover page yet. I tend to do that for the second half of the year later in the year. Usually I will pick like a favorite photo or something from this time period. I am going to Europe for 3 weeks during this 6-month period. So it's likely going to come from that. So here, you can hear some rustling. Pumpkin is digging in a box. So right here is my first spread. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull this out of here. And you can see I have products and stuff in here for later spreads. But this is the first week of July. And I'm working with the Stories by the Month kit. And I had this in here to hold this photo that I printed earlier. And then these ones I just cropped out. Okay, so I'm starting with my photos. I'm just going to take this off of here. So this was the first week of July. This is the week with 4th of July in it. So I'm using the Stories by the Month kit for this week because I know it had a lot of 4th of July stuff in it, even though I'm not a huge 4th of July person. And Pumpkin's still attacking that paper. I do have a couple photos from 4th of July. I just stayed home, but my daughter went out with her friends. So here's her and her friends. And then this is Pumpkin at home. We were watching the fireworks. These 2 photos are from a walk I took at the rail trail. And this one, I don't know if you can see it on there, but there's a deer right there looking at me. And then, let's see, this is me. I worked a lot. I have my coffee. I don't want like all just coffee on this side. So maybe I'll put this one of Summer with her new glasses. I don't know. That's just an initial thought. So I like to just lay my photos out first just to make sure everything's going to fit. And then I'm going to look into my kit here and get the kit out here. So I've already used this kit once because I was a contributor in the Stories by the Month classroom this month. So I did use this kit to create a spread there documenting some summer joys from last summer. So if you haven't seen that, I recommend go check that out. Had a lot of fun with this kit in a non-Project Life pocket page spread. But now I'm going to use it in my Project Life. Okay, so the kit's kind of a mess because I did use it before and I'm not great at keeping my kits organized in the box. And I know I had the tray, but I didn't even organize it in there. I don't know. Let's go ahead and go through the cards first. And I know I'm looking for like certain ones, right? So I know there's always this one, which I'm going to use as my title card, and this one for my ephemera. And then I'm just going to look through the other 4x6, even though I don't have 4x6 pockets. This one could probably be cut. These are cute to cut out. And some of these, like vellums, could easily go on a smaller pocket. And some of these, like this one, I feel like is very 4th of July with some of these other colors, especially like this one. Although I feel like, one sec. Aha, see, I knew. This is a repeat of a card from last year. That actually looks super cool layered though, you guys. So like, look at this on here, because these are the reverse colors. And with the vellum, you can kind of see it through. I think I'm going to use that. That's really cute. Not sure what for yet, but it's also going to use up that card for my stash. Well, let's see, we've got highs and lows here, and then the American flag. I'm definitely not using this American flag. That's just a bit too much for me. I am American, but there's a limit to the amount of patriotism I want in my album. I could see maybe using this in my journal though, or if you are not American, I think this would be really cool if you take a trip to the US to put this in your travel album. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those to the side, and then let's see, what do we have here? The 3 things cards, I'm putting that to the side because I'm using those in a different way. I will share that in a future video. I definitely want the calendar here. I've been using these ones if I can. So this is perfect for my like bullet point list of stories. And then everyday moments is also a good one to include. Highs and lows maybe. See, this one I definitely want. I think I want to use this for that, for like their 4th of July. So it's surprising, there's so much 4th of July here, but there's no like 4th of July like journaling card, right? To be like, this is what I did on the 4th to celebrate. Let's see what else we've got. Let's go into here. So I always forget these tags, and a lot of them are like big enough that they can be your journaling card, right? So let's see here. Bring on the boom. See, that could be a good title for my 4th of July like story. Well, this is 7/24, which is this month, so I should probably use this because I don't know when else I would use it. July looks like this. Rhythms, July story, July joys. I do like that one. Here for the party. She went to a party. I didn't go to a party. Let's see let me look in my Hobonichi cousin and see what stories I want to tell. So here's my weekly spread. And let's see, I had a movie date night on Tuesday, the 4th of July. Summer got new glasses. I had kind of a rough week, which is kind of emotional. I filmed my vlog. And yeah, let's see here. Not a ton going on, but you know, some little stories to tell. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that over. I think this one would be good to talk about me being like emotionally blah this week and also working a lot, which goes with that photo. So I think that's good right there. And then here I have this one of my coffee. This is Summer getting her new glasses. So I feel like I could tell the story of that, of her new glasses, but it's not like a big story. So I do have these in here, which are always useful. I could just put it on, the story on there. And then let's see, this is my walk. So I kind of want to use this as a journaling card. And then I could maybe put this on here and like put my journaling on top of that. I'm trying to find a tag or something that has space for journaling. There's this one, but I feel like it's too big, but I think I could cut it down and make it work for my rail trail walk. I'm trying to see, when did I do this? Okay, so this is actually on the 4th of July. So I think I'm gonna cut that down and make this about the rail trail walk, and I'll probably put something on top of this one. And then trying to like figure out how I want to balance these. So put those there and put like I'll put a label on that one. Put this one in the middle for like my random stories. And then this could be about the 4th of July. I could just cut that off. I feel like the Olympics were already done by here. Yes, the Olympic trials were finished really as of like the week before, and then the actual Olympics haven't started yet. They're going to be when I'm in Europe. So maybe I'm just going to cut this off. And I don't care about National Hot Dog Day. And then I need something for here. There's always this one, but I kind of wanted to use up some of these. Like, also I would like to use this one somehow. See if I can come up with a way to do that. And then like, I kind of like the idea of making like a layered circles here. like that. I kind of want it to be transparent, but then the other side, I have to think about the other side, which is my cover page. Maybe I'll just put vellum there, and then I will decide when I do my cover page if I want to leave it. Let's see. That's too dark. I think that will be cute. Okay. So I think I have a plan enough to go ahead and start putting this together. Although one thing I want to say before I do is about this one. So this card I have been using all year as a place to document my ephemera for the month. Oh, and I still need to find a place for this one. And typically I've been putting these spreads or using this kit later in the month or putting it together later in the month. And it is now only about halfway through July. So I don't have all my ephemera from the whole month, but I do have a few things. So I think I had 4 things. I had 5 that I went and grabbed this. And then here I was thinking I could just use this for my 5th one. So that's probably what I'm going to do just to document that. I probably will collect more stuff later in the month. That's okay. You can always go into August or in my journal or whatever. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, the point is just to capture like a few of the pieces, right? So let me go ahead and put you guys on fast forward and get this one put together. Okay, so we talked about this in one of the previous Project Life videos about me wanting to go a little bit slower pace, and I asked everyone kind of if you wanted these videos to be longer and have me do it at a slower pace, and people said yes, overwhelmingly, so I'm going to try it. I did try it in another video. Actually, I think this might be the first one that's going to go live where I try the slower pace. So let me know in the comments if you prefer this or if you want me to speed it up again. So this one is done at 2 times speed. So usually I was doing 4 times speed. For this, I'm starting with my title card. I usually start with my title card because it's pretty easy. I know what I want to put on it, and that's the date stamp. And then I wanted something to embellish between the date stamps, so I used my hole punch to punch one of the stars out of the packaging and use that as like a little dot, and I really like how it came out. Later on in the spread, I kind of wish I did something else, but I will say that. I will share that when I get to it and why, but I really like how that came out. So that's a reminder that the packaging is actually really great for these kits to use. I know if you only get the Stories by the Month kit, they actually ship only in this envelope rather than in a larger envelope, but it's still, you can cut pieces out of it and use it in your project. So this card right here came out really fun. I really like how it turned out. And what I did was I just cropped down one of the vellum pieces to a 3x4, and I layered 3 of the circles, well, 2 circles and 1 half circle on top of this card here, and just adhered them down. And then I'm just trimming around the edges so that it will fit in the pocket. This was just kind of like a fun filler to use up some of these pieces of ephemera, and it wasn't really like to document anything specific. It is very red, white, and blue, and I do find that at the end, this spread kind of screams red, white, and blue and patriotism and stuff, which I'm not thrilled with. I am, an American, and I'm happy to be an American, but I just don't love the red, white, and blue color scheme that much. So I wasn't super thrilled with it, but that's okay. I like this, how the spread came together otherwise. For this photo here, this is my daughter with her new glasses. She went to get new glasses and sent me a photo when she picked them out. I didn't go with her, and I just wanted to document that. So I used one of the stamps from the stamp set that says loving and put it on one of the labels from the kit, and I'm just documenting that here. I'm trying to use the stamp sets a bit more. For a while with these Stories by the Month kits, I wasn't using the stamp set. This year, I believe the stamp sets are coming separate from the kit. They are no longer like part of the kit, so you do get more pieces. And if you don't use the stamps, then that's great. But I do like getting them, and I just tend to forget to use them when working on these spreads. So I kind of made a point to use it when doing this one. This card here, I'm doing some journaling just about my feelings from the month or the week. Sorry. Just kind of like, how am I feeling? Just general, it says highs and lows on it. So I'm going to document just how this was kind of a stressful week for me. I, instead of doing that journaling though, decided to move on to this tag here. I'm trimming it down and trying to make it into a smaller tag. Doing those angled corners is always a little rough to get them balanced, but I'm using the lines on my trimmer to try to make them look even. It's not perfect. I definitely couldn't measure and do it perfectly if I wanted to, but I don't want to spend the time on that. So I ended up just doing it, kind of eyeballed. And then I'm cropping down some white cardstock to be a 3x4 base where I could adhere the vellum piece on it. Usually when I'm using these vellum cards, I am adhering them onto white cardstock. You still get the feel of the vellum without it being transparent, so it's not going to mess up with the spread on the back. You definitely could leave some of these transparent and then back them with something that works with that piece, but that's a lot of planning for me, and I don't like to do that, especially if I'm using different products for each side. Here I'm making my own journaling card by cropping down another piece of white cardstock to 3x4. And then what I'm going to do is adhere that currently celebrating on it. Along with that, bring on the boom tag. So this card I'm going to use to document the actual 4th of July, which I didn't do that much, but I wanted to still make a note of what I did. And my daughter went to hang out with friends and then went to a pool party barbecue thing. So I wanted to document that as well. I'm just adhering these on here along the bottom of the card because I know that I'm not going to have enough journaling to fill the card, and that also gives it a little bit of embellishment. Like I said in the beginning of this video, there wasn't a journaling card for the 4th of July. If I looked back in my stash, I probably could find one from a previous kit, but I decided this way I can make one. And I used the stamp set again. See, I'm so proud of myself for using the stamp set. I stamped on here July and then the 4. I liked this number set a lot because I don't know, it's just like a fun number set. And I don't have a ton of numbers. I have so many alpha stamps, but not a lot of numbers. So this is a good size and fun font. So I'm happy to have it. And I'm going to have to make note of that in my stamp organization system so that I remember to pull this one out because it's not on a typical alpha or numbers set. Then I'm pulling over my favorite alpha stamp that is just this cute little box from Amazon. I'm putting the TH on there, so it says July 4th. And then I'm just going to do my journaling on here. I end up after journaling using my tiny attacher just to adhere the Bring on the Boom card down a little bit and add a little bit of texture to the card. On this spread, I had considered using my sewing machine to add a little bit of stitching on a few of the cards, but honestly, I was just not really feeling it. Pulling out my sewing machine is a little bit more effort than some of the other things that I do. And while I really love how it looks and I love doing it, it does take a little bit more time and effort. So I'm not always going to do it on a spread. And I just want to be real with you guys and say sometimes when I'm working on this project, I'm all about, taking my time and enjoying the process. Other times I just want to get it done. Not that I'm not enjoying it, but I just am motivated to have the spread completed. And then other times I'm just kind of lazily enjoying the process, which I think is what I was doing here. I was watching TV while doing this. I tend to pause my show while doing the journaling because I can't really think about the words and watch a show at the same time. But otherwise, I'm watching TV while I'm just cropping stuff down. And it's more of a just kind of go with the flow process. So this card here, I have the one from my stash from an old Stories by the Month, and I just adhered the vellum piece over the top. The vellum has transparent parts on the white words of July, and the card was red July, and so you can kind of see it through the transparent vellum, but I didn't line them up perfectly on purpose, so you could see a little bit of white outline behind. I thought it looked really cool. It might not come across so well through on the video, or the photos you might not be able to see as well, but it looks really fun in person. Then I added a chipboard piece on here, and I decided I was going to layer some word phrase strips. Word phrase strips are one of my favorite go-to embellishments, especially in project life. I have a ton of them, and I tend to pull out a few different colors at a time to add in a spread. So you can see here I pulled a few white sheets and a gray sheet, and I'm going to pull off some stickers to layer on here. I end up putting ones that say Thursday, Summer Nights, and Memories, because those tend to fit kind of the story, and it kind of makes a note that 4th of July fell on a Thursday this year, which was kind of nice to have in here. I did note when I was doing editing this video, I realized that I had said I was going to put one of those label stickers on this photo to identify who was in the photo or what was going on. And I forgot. I did do the journaling on that July 4th card where I mentioned that my daughter went to this party, but I didn't label the people. And sometimes in project life, especially with like my daughter's friends or people that I'm not that close with, I like to make note of who is in the photo because I might not always remember. Obviously, I'm going to know which one is my daughter, but the other two, one of them she's been friends with since middle school, so I will probably remember her, but the other one she's not as close with. And it's very possible that I will look back on this in 10 years and have no clue who that kid is. So I kind of wish that I had made that note. And that's just something I wanted to mention in case you are doing something similar in your album. So to fill this last pocket or spot here on this card for the ephemera, I cropped down the stories by the month packaging. And I thought that that was a fun piece of ephemera to help document the month because, of course, this packaging and these kits and crafting is a huge part of my life, and it is a piece of ephemera that documents this point in time. I could technically do that every single month with those kits, but I don't need to. I just needed that extra one, like I said at the beginning of this video, because I'm putting this together early in the month. I haven't collected ephemera from the whole month yet, and so I had fewer pieces. I do have a few pieces here from shopping. And what I have been doing lately when I go shopping, like at the mall for clothes and stuff, is taking the bag and cutting out the logo from the bag. So I have this from J. Crew Factory. It was like their outlet store, and also from White House Black Market. And I'm cropping down their logo so you can just see part of it. I might not even be able to remember what it says in the future, but I like having that little piece of the shopping bag there. And I think I'll probably be able to tell that these are shopping bags in the future, and that's what they came from. I do, because those shopping bags have them on both sides, I cut out the ones on the other side and put them in my daily journal in my Hobonichi Cousin. So that's something I am using to get ephemera for that project as well. This was the packaging from my LaCroix seltzers. This is my favorite flavor, and I'm drinking these pretty much all the time now. So who knows when I will switch up my drinking habits. So it's nice to have that in here once in a while. And then for my final piece here was a packaging from buying extra ink from my printer, or my photo printer that I use to print all of my photos at home. I have gotten some questions recently about how I print my photos or how much it costs. And honestly, I haven't really done the math on how much it costs. People frequently ask me if it's cheaper or, a better deal to print at home versus order your prints out. And honestly, I really don't know. It's not cheap. The ink is not cheap for sure to print at home, but I know it's also kind of expensive to order your prints. So I've never done the math on it because I print at home purely for convenience. And because of that, it's never really crossed my mind to weigh the costs. Maybe I just don't want to know how much money I'm spending on it because I could not imagine ordering my photos out. I know a lot of people do, and if it works for you, that's great. It just would not work for me the way that I scrapbook. Moving on to this card here. So I adhered this today was tagged down that I had cropped down, and I'm just journaling about our rail trail walk that we took, which these two photos were from. I regret adhering this down before I did the journaling. You can see I'm trying to tear it up, but I couldn't, so I ended up leaving it. But I really wanted to line it up with the bottom of the page so that my journaling filled the full tag. I don't know why I adhered it first, but for some reason I did. Then I went over to my stash and found this little star Brad that I'm going to add through that hole in the tag. I end up adding a second one of these on the circles that are layered on the left-hand side. They are also tags. And the one that says July Joys, I just punched out the hole from that and added it on there. And those are the things that I wish I had kind of done that on the title card as well. I really like how I punched out the star from the packaging to add on my title card, but I had 3 of those Brads left and I ended up only using 2 on the spread, and it would have felt so good to use up all of them from my stash, and also having 3 on a spread really creates some balance. On this photo of the deer, I'm layering a little bit of washi tape, and then I'm going to add this chipboard that says sights and sounds because I thought that that fit really well with seeing some wildlife on my walk. We definitely heard him as well, rustling through the trees. And adding the washi there just kind of grounds it a little bit, especially because the chipboard piece is like a darker green and the photo is very dark. So adding that white washi helps that chipboard pop out. This photo here is my cat sitting in front of the TV when we were watching the fireworks, and he was just kind of sitting there completely oblivious to what was behind him. So I added a chipboard piece that said July Delights, and I'm going to go ahead and add one of the word phrase strips on there as well. Now I'm finally moving to my journaling. I had pulled this over to do the journaling earlier, and I had put it aside because I wanted to work on the other pieces. I tend to do the smaller journaling first, so like the label that's on my daughter's face or the journaling on that little today was tag, because those are more specific stories that I know what I want to include on them. And that way I can do these longer ones later and know what I want to include or what hasn't already been included elsewhere. This one, I ended up just journaling more about my feelings this week and how I'm really kind of gearing up to go on vacation. So I have a lot of work in the office and I have a lot of work editing like content for you guys and just around the house and just making sure everything is ready, plus planning like the more specific details of our travel. It's just been a lot. And this week it was really kind of catching up to me and I was feeling very stressed. So that's kind of what I journaled about on that highs and lows card. This one is my bullet point list. And if you're not new here, then you definitely know what I'm talking about. But in case you are, pretty much every single week in Project Life, I include a bullet point list for all those little stories that didn't make it elsewhere. And I tend to do this card absolutely last because I wanted to make sure that I capture all of the stories that I want to tell and don't double tell a story. So I might put something on here if I did this earlier and then have another spot to journal about it. So like I didn't put my daughter getting new glasses on here because I did have that story on another spot in the spread. I also pulled over some larger markers to do some larger text on here and kind of alternate the types of text I'm doing between my small regular writing and some bolder titles. And the bolder black ones, I'm using my Tombow Fudensuki soft tip marker. I use this a lot in my Hobonichi Cousin, and it works really well on these cards as just for like big, bold titles or larger journaling. I want to try to bring it into my Project Life a bit more because I do really like how it looks. This card also had this like dark blue stripe that I felt like black ink wasn't going to really show up on it. So I pulled over one of my Posca paint pens in white and used that to also write something large on that blue stripe. So on this card, I'm just documenting a few like random little stories from the week. I documented when I did Pilates and yoga, having a date night on Tuesday, hangover cake, which was like this random cake that we tried from some shop that's local here. I'm watching Degrassi, that I was reading a lot, and that I was kind of on an eating oatmeal kick. And just lots of like chatting with my people and just random stuff that was going on. So I have my Hobonichi Cousin off camera that I'm looking at while I'm working on doing this journaling, just kind of seeing what stories I want to pull from it. There I ended up having, I think this, well, we'll see. And then I just finished off this card. And then that is the end of my journaling. I have this card here, which is the calendar card. And I think maybe the month before or something with one of these calendar cards, I realized like, why not highlight the days of this specific week? So that's what I'm doing here using my gray mild liner. I'm just adding a little bit of a highlight over the dates that are in this week. Of course, that could make it my title card. And I ended up not making it my title card, but I still just liked having it in here with those dates highlighted so you can kind of see it, how this week falls in the rest of the month. Going back to this photo of my coffee, I'm layering some word phrase strips, just kind of adding a little bit more of embellishments and trying to balance out my spread as I'm finishing it up or getting close to finishing it up. I pulled over this navy blue piece of or pad of word phrase strips as well, so that I could have another color in here. I tend to stack these with 3 different word phrase strips, and I wanted to have 3 different colors. So I'm doing a navy, a gray, and a white. This navy one, I believe it's probably from an older Stories by the Month kit for the month of July, because it had one that said July memories that I put on here, which was perfect for this spread. So if you have been a Stories by the Month subscriber for more than a year, I highly recommend looking for the previous year's kits from that same month and trying to combine them with the current year kit, because the colors tend to match and the themes tend to match and they work really well together. There, I'm adding that one that says boom on there. Some of those white ones were also from summertime or July, and they were getting close to finish, and I really, really, really want to finish up some of these pads of word phrase strips. So I'm trying to use more of them on my spread, especially from those ones that are almost gone. And I tend to try to use the phrase on them that is most specific, because it's going to be hardest to use. So because there was one that just said like boom for fireworks, I used that one, because how often do I have fireworks documented in my album? Like really not that much. So if there was one that was just like good times or memories or something like that, I'm not going to use those ones unless none of the other ones fit my story, so that I can get the most out of my stickers. I'm just going ahead and slipping everything in the pockets and making sure the spread looks balanced. You can see that I kind of tried to balance out the cards that have white space on them with the cards that don't on that right-hand spread. The calendar card and the one with my July 4th journaling and the one that says today was has a lot of white space, whereas some of the photos are very dark. So I wanted to kind of alternate them. And then in the top right, my photo with my journal and my scones there is very white. So I put that next to the photo of my cat that has the white comforter from my bed, but also some dark from the TV, just to kind of balance everything together. Here's that look at that completed spread. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and please let me know if you liked this piece a bit better. And as always, I hope to see you guys on the next one. Bye.